was your last non-academic failed examination?
It was a drug test, marijuana.
Explain the circumstances and how you realized it. You can focus on, you can focus on either emotional fallout or the failure of the nature of the examination.
Well, I tried to go apply for BNY Mellon and get a job over the summer, and that didn't work out because they didn't tell me it was a P test or piss test, and I went in and I failed, and they emailed me back saying you can't work here, and it sucked. But I'm a CMU student, so I went in the end.
Have you done any illicit drugs in the last month?
None besides weed, and actually a little bit of acid.
Explain how they affected you either physically, emotionally, or intellectually.
Well, that's the norm at CMU. I mean, that's what we do. We party, so.
Thanks. I needed that.
It doesn't really affect me besides when I'm not drunk before class or high before I do homework. Then it sucks.
I'm going to ask you some thoughts on a couple things. First, what are your thoughts on having a woman president in the United States?
I think it's cool. I'm not sure if, women's brains are the same size as men.
What?
I mean, but that's all I'll say on that.
What are your thoughts on the migrant crisis in Europe?
I didn't know there was a migrant crisis in Europe. I guess that would be my response.
What are your thoughts on conceptual art?
I love conceptual art to a certain extent, as long as it makes sense. Sometimes it goes a little too avant-garde for me, but I'm an economics student, so.
Do you feel the above subjects have anything in common? If yes, elaborate as to what?
That's a good question. I'm assuming maybe Israel and conceptual art may have some kind of connection if they, do like interpretive dance there and stuff like that. But I don't think so.
If you could be any animal, which would you be?
A lion, or a griffin, or like a lion mixed with a snake or something.
As a follow-up, if you were given temporary godlike powers for this sole purpose, would you render extinct all the animals that naturally prey on you?
Yes, of course, because if I have the godlike powers, I want to be the alpha.
Do you believe that automobiles or other transport vehicles should possess the technology to be able to drive themselves?
Yes, because humans have too much room for error, and no, because we all seen Terminator, so.
Why do you think there are as yet no detected signs of life outside Earth? Do you think that maybe some extraterrestrial community does not want to be detected by us?
I think maybe we know, but we don't want the masses to know, because maybe the masses will panic and too much information leads to chaos. So.
Would praying to God at least 5 times a day aid you or deter you from learning about the real world?
Maybe deter you because you're spending so much time going inward instead of outward, and you're kind of going in the inner world instead of the real world, which is our outer world collectively. So, yeah.
If you woke up one morning and found yourself in another dimension of reality where everything is exactly the same except for the fact that butterflies were instead named buttock fries, would you consider them any less beautiful?
Yes, because then their wings would resemble asses, I think. a lot more frequently.
Would you labor to investigate how to return to the original dimension so that they would indeed be referred to the more beautiful sounding name by everyone else?
Yes. Yes.
If you were somehow given the opportunity to meet the love of your life before you experienced your first sexual experience, would you take advantage of it and spend the rest of your life with them?
That's a good question. Maybe not. Maybe. Yes. Because, well, like I said, depends if the love of my life has experience with sex. Because if I'm the inexperienced one, then it might not last forever.
If you were somehow informed that foregoing that meeting resulted in sex with multiple partners, but at the same time being guaranteed that they were waiting for you to make a commitment without necessarily knowing it, would you take advantage?
I don't know how to answer that. No. So it's cohesive with my first answer, so no.
If the Constitution of the United States was originally written in Latin, do you believe it would be a less influential and important document in the context of the evolution of American democracy and civil rights, and would those institutions be lesser in quality as a result?
Yes, because it's Latin and it's not English, and this is America. America.
Is love always sacrificed for the sake of ambition? Would you say always, sometimes, never?
I would say sometimes, leaning a little bit more towards always, because at CMU we're taught to put our careers first, and the love thing will happen later. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe never. But yeah. So, yeah, I would say it always gets in the way.